Hey there, so I just made the discovery of a lifetime. My little lighting thing is rechargeable. I had no idea. I've been trying to find the battery slot for this thing forever to change the battery. I am enlightened. What is up, you guys? It's me, your girl, your Casey. Oh, let me see where to put this dumb thing. No, it's not dumb. I love this light. It's very good light. Not dumb at all. Except when it won't go in this little tripod holder thing. Don't you fall too, tripod. Stop it. No, wait. It's fading. I can see it's fading. Don't die yet. Time out. Boom. So my tripod fell over. I guess we're filming the video like this now. Oh wait, you're not supposed to see that yet. That's my book haul thing. We are all set and professional now. What is up, you guys? It's me, your girl, your Casey. How you doing? So, instead of like a little tiny mini book haul, I actually have a humongous chunky book haul. I've been collecting some hauls, and I've also, because if my schedule is right, let me see. Yes, this book haul will be coming up on Valentine's Day, which is my birthday. So, happy birthday to me. And my brother, he was so nice. He got me 2 books too for my, well, right now it's the 9th, so early birthday present. He's so sweet. He promptly refused to buy me Cats the Musical because he said he was embarrassed to take it to the cash register lady because he didn't want her to think that he liked that stuff, which he does. So I got random book haul stuff, birthday book haul stuff, and I also have a bunch of ebooks that I bought too. So we're about to get into this jazz. First off, I forgot there was another Riley Sager book out there. So I was super excited to find The Last Time I Lied by Indeed, Riley Sager, who happens to be my favorite thriller author. No big chiz. You guys remember when we all used to say chiz because of like iCarly and Victorious? Nickelodeon TV shows back in the day were hype. Dope. I know absolutely nothing about what this thriller is about, but my favorite thing about Riley Sager's covers is that they're all one color. Home Before Dark was all green. Lock Every Door is all pink. This one is all blue. Oh, but look at this. It has like Final Girl blurbs over here too, and it matches that red cover. That looks good. Okay, just like skimming through this summary, it sounds a lot like Final Girls, or maybe like a prequel to Final Girls. Let's see what's going on here. 2 Truths and a Lie. Have I played that game? Yeah, I did, and I always win too, because I just have a really outlandish life. The girls played it all the time in their cabin at Camp Nightingale. We're at a summer camp. Classic horror movie setting up in here. Vivian, Natalie, Allison, and first-time camper Emma Davis, the youngest of the group. But the games ended the night Emma sleepily watched the others sneak out of the cabin into the darkness. The last she or anyone saw of them was Vivian closing the cabin door behind her, hushing Emma with a finger pressed to her lips. Shh! Now a rising star in the New York art scene, Emma turns her past into paintings. Massive canvases filled with dark leaves and gnarled branches that cover ghostly shapes in white dresses. When the paintings catch the attention of I've always had trouble pronouncing this word. Francesca Harris White, the wealthy owner of Camp Nightingale, she implores Emma to return to the newly reopened camp as a painting instructor. Seeing an opportunity to find out what really happened to her friends all those years ago, Emma agrees. Familiar faces, unchanged cabins, and the same dark lake haunts Nightingale, even though the camp is opening its doors for the first time since the disappearances. Emma is even assigned to the same cabin she slept in as a teenager, but soon discovers a security camera, the only one on the property, pointed directly at her door. Then, cryptic clues that Vivian left behind about the camp's twisted origins begin surfacing. As she digs deeper, Emma finds herself sorting through lies from the past while facing mysterious threats in the present. And the closer she gets to the truth about Camp Nightingale and what really happened to her friend, the more she realizes that closure could come at a deadly price. This is Riley Sager's second book. And let's see, I gave Final Girls their first book like a 3.5. Lock Every Door is a 4. Home Before. I can't talk today, but I can't talk any day. Home Before Dark I gave a 5, so I'm gonna expect this book to be a 4 because like with each book that progresses, as the author's writing style gets better and better, I like it better and better. So I have high hopes for this one. Riley Sager rarely lets me down. Even when Riley Sager does let me down, it's a 3.5. The other book I got for my birthday haul was House of Salt and Sorrows. I know nothing about this book. I remember when it was really hype on Booktube, and I was like, oh my gosh, the cover, gorgeous. I like the name. I hate salt, like sea salt. It gets everywhere, just like sand. I don't like the beach. I live on the beach. I want a mountain. But this is definitely a retelling of something. I know it is. And I'm excited for that. I think I actually have like 2 retellings in this pile. In a manor by the sea, 12 sisters are cursed. Annalee lives in a sheltered life at Highmoor with her sisters. Once there were 12, but loneliness fills the grand halls now that 4 of the girls' lives have been cut short, each death more tragic than the last. Disturbed by a series of ghostly visions, Annalee becomes increasingly suspicious that her sisters' deaths were no accidents. The girls have been sneaking out every night to attend glittering balls, dancing until dawn in silk gowns and shimmering slippers, and Annalee isn't sure whether to try to stop them or to join their forbidden tryst. Because who or what are they really dancing with? Ghost boyfriends? Like the webtoon freaking romance? I'm into this. When Annalee's involvement with a mysterious stranger who has secrets of his own intensifies, it's a race to unravel the darkness that has fallen over her family before it claims her next. House of Salt and Sorrows is a House of Salt and Sorrows is a spellbinding novel filled with magic and the rustle of gossamer skirts down long, dark hallways. Rustle, rustle, rustle. Get ready to be swept away. Oh, Stephanie Garber blurbed this. Step inside a fairy tale. Stephanie Garber wrote Caravel. I just read Caravel this month. I'll give it a meh. I don't trust blurbs. Look at it. It's so floppy. It's the perfect floppiness right here. My brother gave me a $20 spending limit, so these were $18, so I'm thrifty, kinda. And next up, we got a book from John Green's brother, Hank Green. An absolutely remarkable thing. John Green, The Fault in the Stars, was actually my first book I decided to read when I decided to start Booktube. So it's really dear to me, so I was excited to see what's up in this one. Roaming through New York City at 3 a.m., 23-year-old April May. Is that your real name? First name April, last name May? That's stupid. April May stumbles across a giant sculpture. Delighted by its appearance and craftsmanship, like a 10-foot-tall transformer wearing a suit of samurai armor, April and her best friend Andy make a video with it, which Andy uploads to YouTube. The next day, April wakes up to a viral video in a new life. News quickly spreads that there are corals, the name of the statue, in a dozen cities around the world, from Beijing to Buenos Aires. And April, as their first documentarian, finds herself at the center of an intense international media spotlight. Seizing the opportunity to make her mark on the world, April now has to deal with the consequences her new particular brand of fame has on her relationship, her safety, and her own identity. And all eyes are on April to figure out not just what the corals are, but what they want from us. This is either an alien or a cyborg takeover, or one worldwide mass hallucination. When I showed my friend I got this book and that the author's related to John Green, she was like, it's my first subscriber, that beautiful Norwegian man who's also a woman. She gets the joke. She was like, oh my gosh, I hope the brother writes better than John Green. I agree. I loved only 2 books from John Green, Fault in Our Stars and An Abundance of Catherines. But the other 3, I think, Paper Towns, Turtles All the Way Down, and Looking for Alaska, the characters are just so bland. They were literally repeats of each other. Smarter than average boy meets quirky girl kind of thing. And the girl is always the most obnoxious thing alive. So hopefully this will give me some juicy drama that I want. I want the corals just to take over everything. Wipe out humanity. Next up we have a cover by. It is called The Clockmakers Daughter. We have this suspicious looking moon peeping at us. Oh my gosh, this looks like a mix of historical fiction and magical realism. Both of those are not my jazz. They are the anti-jazz. They're the screamo of my soul. I don't like screamo. Editor, play me some fancy ballroom music. You know, do 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 do. That one.
Can't just tell me what the song goes. Do 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 do. I need a freaking name.
In the summer of 1862, a group of young artists led by the charismatic and talented Edward Radcliffe descends upon Birchwood Manor on the banks of the Upper Thames. They plan to spend a secluded summer month in a haze of inspiration and creativity. But by the time this day is over, one woman has been shot dead, while another has disappeared. A priceless heirloom is missing, and Edward Radcliffe's life is in ruins. More than 150 years later, Elodie Winslow, a young archivist in London, uncovers a leather satchel containing 2 seemingly unrelated items. A sepia photograph of a beautiful woman in Victorian clothing, and an artist's sketchbook containing the drawing of a twin-gabled house on the bend of a river. Why does Butch Birchwood Manor feels so familiar to Elodie, and who is this mysterious, unidentified woman in the photograph? As Elodie pursues these clues, the lives of the many people who have passed through the house are revealed. There is Radcliffe, whose love affair with his mortal and muse consumes him, his sister Lucy, who opens a school for young ladies. Leonard Gilbert, a soldier and scholar who retreats to Birchwood after World War I to heal and write a biography of Radcliffe. Oh, is this Radcliffe guy so important that he has to have a biography? Juliet, a young widow who takes refuge there with her 3 small children during the Blitz. And in the present day, Jack Rowlands, who has come from far away to search for lost treasure, and who meets Elodie when she eventually arrives at the house. Oh my gosh, this is a large cast of characters. They all better be good. Intricately layered and told by multiple voices across time, this is a kaleidoscopic story of murder, mystery, and thievery, of art, love, and loss. And following through its pages like a river is the voice of a woman who stands outside of time, whose name has been forgotten by history, but who has watched it all unfold. Birdie Bell, the Clockmaker's Daughter. None of that made any sense to me. We just got a fancy house, lots of people, someone who exists outside of time. This is definitely magical realism. I don't actually read summaries before I buy books. What is literally wrong with me? Okay, next up we got Bird Box. I've always wanted to read this book, just never have. But it was like $2. If you guys haven't seen the movie, you probably already know what it's about from like the Bird Box challenges. You remember? This is the apocalypse. There's monsters everywhere, but they only kill you if you see them. So everybody has to walk around blindfolded. Or if you're not killed by looking at the beast, you kill everyone around you because you go mad from looking at the beast. 5 years after it began, a handful of scattered survivors remain, including Mallory and her 2 young children. 5 years after it began, a handful of scattered survivors remain, including Mallory and her 2 young children. Living in an abandoned house near the river, Mallory has long dreamed of fleeing to a place where her family might be safe. But the journey ahead will be terrifying. 20 miles downriver in a rowboat, blindfolded. One wrong choice and they will die. And something is following them. But is it man, animal, or monster? Or all of them combined? Engulfed in darkness, surrounded by sounds both familiar and frightening, Mallory embarks on a harrowing odyssey. A trip that takes her into an unseen world and back into the past. To the companions who once saved her, interweaving past and present. The author's breathtaking debut is a horrific and gripping snapshot of a world unraveled that will have you racing to the final page. I just want to say shout out to the author for being an absolute stud muffin. Josh Mallerman is a lead singer and songwriter for the rock band The High Strung. He lives in Ferndale, Michigan. Looks like I'm going to Ferndale, Michigan. I'll look up his music, see what he's vibing to. This book's really short and I'm ready to see a bunch of people get like slaughtered by monsters, so I'm excited for this guy. Next up, we have a book that was so strange, I just had to buy it. It is called Shadow of the Wolf by Tim Hall. What do you think this book is about? You say werewolves. You might be right. I don't actually know. But this is actually a Robin Hood retelling. Forget everything you've ever heard about Robin Hood. Robin Locksley is 7 years old when his parents disappear without a trace. Years later, the great love of his life, Marion, is also taken from him. Driven by these mysteries and this anguish, Robin follows a darkening path into the ancient heart of Sherwood Forest. What he encounters there will leave him transformed. The first book of a trilogy, Shadow of the Wolf, is a breathtaking, original, and utterly compelling retelling that will forever alter the legend of Robin Hood. Shout out to the author Tim Hall for being an absolute stud muffin. So we got Robin Hood with potential werewolves. So this could be something totally amazing or just weird. The little sample in the back of the book has our guy Robin being possessed by a dark force, and it's making him turn his bow on his friend, it looks like. There's some juicy stuff happening. I'm ready to read this. Hopefully that'll be good. Next we have The Sentence is Death. I don't know why I picked up this book. Mainly because I am really simple when it comes to cover buys. If you have white, black, and red, I'm going to buy it. That's the secret formula for me. Oh my gosh, no. This book has deckled edges. I hate deckled edges with a passion. Look at it. It's all ripply. I don't like it. It's unshaven and fuzzy. Don't like you. You shouldn't be here. It's too late. These, heard over the phone, are the last recorded words of successful celebrity divorce lawyer Richard Price, found bludgeoned to death in his bachelor pad with a bottle of wine, a 1982 Chateau Lafite, worth $2,000. I have no idea what that money symbol is. Let's just say pounds and hope to God it's pounds. To be precise. Odd considering he didn't drink. Why this bottle? And why those words? And why did the killer paint a 3-digit number on the wall? Is it 666? That would be dope. And most important, which of the man's many enemies did the deed? Baffled, the police are forced to bring in private investigator Daniel Hawthorne and his sidekick, the author Anthony Horowitz. Horowitz? I swear, if this author is a horror writer, I'm not a fan of the last name then. Actually, I'm just going to take a random stab and say that Anthony Horowitz is the killer. And his sidekick, the author Anthony Horowitz, who's really getting rather good at this murder investigation business. That is sus right there. But as Hawthorne takes on the case with characteristic relish, it becomes clear that he too has secrets to hide. As our reluctant narrator becomes even more embroiled in the case, he realizes that these secrets must be exposed, even at the risk of death. Wait the doodle second. The author is Anthony Horowitz. Did this author just write himself into the book? That's what it meant. And his sidekick, the author, Anthony Horowitz. Window shutdown music. Interesting. Is this like fourth wall breaking or like realistic fiction stuff? Did this really happen? Oh, and like every time you see like a guy duo solving mysteries, you're always like, oh, that's like a Sherlock and Watson thing. And this guy has written a book about Moriarty, so I guess he really likes Sherlock and Watson. Anthony Horowitz. Anthony Horowitz, one of the UK's most prolific and successful writers, may have committed more fictional murders than any other living author. Interesting. You know what? I'm getting kind of fond of Anthony Horowitz. I won't judge him yet. So the last physical book I have in this haul is, it's called The Family Upstairs by Lisa Jewell. I've read one of Lisa Jewell's book before. Did not like it at all. It was called Watching You, and it wasn't done well at all. But I liked the cover, so I'm gonna give her another chance. It's what I do. I'm gracious like that. Soon after her 25th birthday, Libby Jones returns home from work to find the letter she's been waiting for her entire life. She rips it open with one driving thought. I'm finally going to know who I am. She learns not only the identity of her parents, but also that she's the sole inheritor of their abandoned mansion on the banks of the Thames in London's fashionable Chelsea neighborhood. It's always on the bank of the Thames. You couldn't pick on some other river. The home, even in its dilapidated state, is worth millions. Everything in Libby's life is about to change. What she doesn't know is that others have been waiting for this day as well. And although they've been in hiding, they are now heading her way. Also, it's like the classic, I inherited money, now the family's crawling out the woodwork like, give me my money, I want it. Nearly 25 years ago, police were called to 16 Cheyenne Walk with reports of a baby crying. When they arrived, they found a healthy 10-month-old safe and sound in the upstairs bedroom. In the kitchen, 3 dead bodies, all dressed in black, were seemingly posed next to a hastily scrawled note. The 4 other children reported to live at Cheyenne Walk were gone. I just want to say that Cheyenne Walk is actually spelled as Cheney Walk. I just felt like saying Cheyenne. I've done so many like retakes and repeats because I just can't pronounce anything. I'm just tired of it. We're just going to roll with whatever I say. In the family upstairs, the New York Times bestselling author of Then She Was Gone and master of bone-chilling suspense delivers a powerful and propulsive story of 2 families living in a house with the darkest of secrets. Shout out to the chair in this picture for being an absolute stud muffin. That's like a throne. That's what I want. My good gosh, I'm gonna have to find space on my bookshelf for these books. It's a good problem to have. And now, let me whip open the tablet so I can show you what I got for my ebook collection. Come on, work. Come on, I charged you this morning. So one of the books I purchased was the sequel to The Lies of Locke Lamore, and it is Red Seas Under Red Skies. I actually have it open to the prologue because I was reading it this morning. I've only read the first sentence, and the first sentence is, Locke Lamore stood on the pier in Talvera, with the hot wind of a burning ship at his back and the cold bite of a loaded crossbolt at his neck. That is the best first sentence I've ever read. Immediate peril, someone I love about to die. I am already hooked. I am so excited to buddy read this book. Gosh, let's just read it right now. I don't even want to do the video anymore. I just want to read Locke Lamore, my boy is in peril. But alas, it is my duty to report on what I bought. I'm gonna have to get my laptop to read the summaries about this book because it doesn't show up on my ebook library. The first book I have is another hyped cover by, and it's Serpent and Dove. I've always loved this cover. Oh my gosh, like I want a bracelet of that snake just doing that around my wrist. All I've really heard about this book, because I try to avoid summaries and spoilers everywhere, that it is about a guy who is a witch hunter getting married to a witch. 2 years ago, Louise fled her coven and took shelter in the city of Sarasren, forsaking all magic and living off whatever she could steal. There, witches like Lou are hunted. They are feared and they are burned. Sworn to the church as a Shasher, Reed Diggory has lived his life by one principle: thou shalt not suffer a witch to live. His path was never meant to cross with Lou's, but a wicked stunt forces them into an impossible union. Holy matrimony! The war between witches and church is an ancient one, and Lou's most dangerous enemies bring a fate worse than fire. Unable to ignore her growing feelings, yet powerless to change what she is, a choice must be made, and love makes fools of us all. Do they know what each other is? Or are they going into this marriage blind for some reason? But still, that cover is just, you'll kiss, you'll peck. Next up, I have The Sword of Kagan. Seen this book everywhere. Everyone was talking about it. It was really cheap on Amazon. So I was like, what the heck? I will buy it. I had a gift card. I've heard this book is like a sister book to another series, but thankfully you don't have to read the other series before you read this book. The Fiiiiiiiine series? But if I like this book, I might read the Fiiiiiiiine series. You know how it goes. A mother struggling to repress her violent past, a son struggling to grasp his violent future, a father blind to the danger that threatens them all. When the winds of war reach their peninsula, will the Matsuda family have the strength to defend their empire? Ooh, is this about samurais? Or will they tear each other apart before the true enemies even reach their shores? High on a mountainside at the edge of the Kagenishi Empire lives the most powerful warriors in the world, superhumans capable of raising the sea and wielding blades of ice. For hundreds of years, the fighters of the Kusanagi Peninsula have held the Empire's enemies at bay, earning their frozen spit of land the name the Sword of Kagan. Frozen spit of land, I like that, just your spit island, I hate you. Born into the Kusanagi's legendary Masuda family, 14-year-old Mamoru has always known his purpose: to master his family's fighting techniques and defend his homeland. But when an outsider arrives and pulls back the curtains on Kaigen's alleged age of peace, Mamoru realizes that he might not have much time to become the fighter he was bred to be. Worse, the empire he was bred to defend may stand on a foundation of lies. Misaki told herself that she left the passions of her youth behind when she married into the Masuda house. Determined to be a good housewife and mother, she hid away her sword, along with everything from her days as a fighter in a faraway country. But with her growing son asking questions about the outside world, the threat of an impending invasion looming across the sea, and her frigid husband grating on her nerves. Don't take that, girl. Misaki finds the fighter in her clawing its way back to the surface. This is gonna be a lot of fighting. It's high fantasy. We are always for that. Next up, we got a book with a weird name in it. It's called The Traitor, Baru Cormorant, 4.06 on Goodreads. The only reason I bought this book is because I took one look at the cover and I'm like, wow, what happened to your face? I like it. Tomorrow on the beach, Baru Cormorant will look up from the sand of her home and see red sails on the horizon. Red sails is like red seas and red skies. Is this Luck Lamora coming over at a crossover? The Empire of Masks is coming, armed with coin and ink, doctrine and compass, soap and lies. That's a weird weapon. Soap. They'll conquer Baru's island, rewrite her culture, criminalize her customs, and dispose of one of her fathers. But Baru is patient. She'll swallow her hate, prove her talent, and join the masquerade. She will learn the secrets of empire. She'll be exactly what they need, and she'll claw her way high enough up the rungs of power to set her people free. Is this like Red Rising? We're going to infiltrate the government and overthrow them. In a final test of her loyalty, the masquerade will send Baru to bring order to distant Arduin, a snake pit of rebels, informants, and seditious dukes. Arduin kills everyone who tries to rule it. To survive, Baru will need to untangle this land's intricate web of treachery and conceal her attraction to the dangerously fascinating Duchess Tane Hu. But Baru is a sonvent in games of power, as ruthless in her tactics as she is fixated on her goals. In the calculus of her schemes, all ledgers must be balanced, and the price of liberation paid in full. Let's knock down the government, make our own empire. I am the queen, not you, Baru. Me. I also bought the entire Agatha Christie collection. You know, the Detective Poirot. I'm not explaining every single book in there. It's not worth it, really. But not Baru, I already talked about her. But Poirot is a good detective. I'm honestly quite fond of him instead of Sherlock Holmes. And he has a cute little mustache, so he's my favorite mystery guy. And I finally bought Rhythm of War, and Dawn Shard and Edge Dancer from the Stormlight Archive. I am ready to finally figure out what's happening, because I read Way of Kings, Words of Radiance, and Oathbringer all in a row. I didn't read Edge Dancer, which I think comes in between book 2 and 3, so I probably need to reread that to know what the heck was going on with Lift in book 3. And I will not try to explain again what happened in the Stormlight Archive, because it's a lot. You need to go read it though, because Kaladin is bae. So I have quite a big haul. I'm excited. I have more books to read. My goal for this year was to read all the unread books on my shelf. I'm going to fail. That's okay. As long as I have Loch Lamora, everything is fine. I want to know why you got a crossbow bolt at your neck, but I have to edit this video. Not today, my boy. Not today. Thank you guys so much for watching. My wrist really hurts from holding up these books. I am a weakling. But until next time, me and my rechargeable light are out of here, so stay ready, my friends.